Nowadays, with technology growing, a lot of people don't have the necessary need to carry their physical wallet. And I actually fall in that category where I use my digital wallet more than I would use my physical wallet. So in this video, I want to talk about the cards that I have in my digital wallet. Let's get into it. Starting off the cards in my digital wallet, I'm going to start with the Chime Credit Builder card. And basically, I got this card because I was trying to rebuild my credit. The card is perfect for people trying to rebuild their credit or reestablish their credit. I actually got the metal version, which I made a video on the channel talking about how you possibly can get the metal version for yourself. You can check that out on the channel. But the reason why I keep this card in my digital wallet, because sometimes I do get referrals for my Chime bank account, which if you do decide to sign up for Chime, if you use my link in the description, it helps the channel out tremendously and I would greatly appreciate it. But if you're one of those people trying to rebuild your credit or establish a credit score, it would be very smart for you to start with the Chime Credit Builder card. And that's kind of what helped me build my credit over time. I would highly recommend it. So jumping right into the next card in my digital wallet is the Capital One Savor One Card, which me personally, I use this card for Uber Eats because I am a big Uber Eats person, unfortunately, but at least I get 10% cash back, at least until November 14th, 2024 with this card with any eligible purchase from Uber Eats. Even if it wasn't an Uber Eats order and you just got it from a restaurant, that's 3% cash back, which is still very good, especially the fact that the card does not have an annual fee. FYI, if you do decide to sign up for any of these cards that's in my digital wallet, I will have them linked in the description below, and it does help the channel out, so I would greatly appreciate that. I have my Georgia ID also in my digital wallet, which is a feature that isn't given to all states yet, but it actually doesn't come in handy at all. I don't use it anywhere, not in this form, but it may come in handy one day, so I guess I'm looking forward to the day that it does come in handy. I thought that I would not have to carry my ID around anymore, but that's far from the truth. So if you do have your ID in your digital wallet, you still need your physical ID for a lot of different scenarios, which is a bummer, but I know one day it will get to a point where you could just keep that digital one on your digital wallet. The next card in my digital wallet is the Amazon Business Prime card, which I only use this card for purchasing things on Amazon, which I get 5% cash back whenever I use this card. So you're probably wondering, why do I have it in the digital wallet when I would use my digital wallet in physical scenarios, which you only get 1% cash back at majority of the places that you buy from. There are a few select places that I buy from where I get more cash back, but for the most part, if you use the Amazon Business Prime card in the physical form, you typically get 1% cash back. So the reason why I use it in the physical form is because I never want my personal credit cards to go over 10% utilization. Reason being is because it will drop my overall credit score. So if I was to buy something that was a bit pricey, I would always use my business credit card. Typically, I would use the Blue Business Cash card because you get 2% cash back on all purchases up to $50,000. But some scenarios, I do use my Amazon Business Prime card in order to purchase something that's a bit pricey because it will not affect my personal credit score. And that's a big reason why I keep the American Express Business Prime card in my digital wallet in case of scenarios like that. Speaking of business credit cards, the next one up is the Blue Business Cash card, which I mentioned a little bit about it in that last point, but basically I do use the Blue Business Cash card in all physical situations. So I would use this card first when it comes to business expenses and physical locations, or if I gotta go somewhere, because it serves somewhat like a catch-all business card. So me personally, I love the Blue Business Cash card. I haven't had any bad experiences with it. And if you're a business owner and you're looking to get a business credit card, I would highly recommend it, simply because it's simple, straight to the point. Like I said in the last point, you get 2% cash back on all purchases up to $50,000, and the card is truly good. I haven't had any issues. Anytime there was any fraudulent charges on this card, I just contacted American Express and they took care of it in a timely fashion. Overall, I have nothing but good things to say about the American Express Blue Business Cash card. Of course, the only point that I would mention about this card card is that it is a American Express card, meaning it is not accepted everywhere. So before you commit to the whole American Express ecosystem, make sure that the places you go to accept American Express on a regular basis, and you don't have a bunch of places that does not accept American Express. The next card on the list is the X1 card, and to be completely honest with you, I use this card for miscellaneous purchases that I don't use my Sofi card for or my Apple card for. Although I do like the transfer partners that you can transfer your X1 points out to be able to redeem those points. So all the stores that X1 uses for partners, I do actually shop at all those stores. But outside of that, I don't really utilize all the tools that X1 offers. Like, they have these weekly boosts, which if you use properly, I think you could save $1. But me personally, I do not utilize that tool, so I can't really speak too much on it, but I can clearly see where I could save money if I was to use it. But outside of that, overall, my experience with the X1 card, I would say been pretty good so far. The next card on the list is the Lili Pro Card, which honestly, I do not use this card at all. I just open up a certain amount of business accounts and leave a certain amount of money in them for business purposes. The next card on the list is my Sofi Debit card. I talk about on the channel how Sofi is my main bank account, so I do keep the debit card in case there's a purchase that's a bit pricey that I don't want to put on a credit card for any reason. Maybe it's maxing out my business credit line, or maybe it's maxing out my personal credit line, and I don't like to max out any credit cards, so I would just use my Sofi debit card, which I'm never in scenarios like that. But if I'm ever in a scenario like that, I would just use my Sofi debit card, because that's where I keep majority of my money versus my other cards or the cards that have a limit. The next card is my Capital One Quicksilver Card, which I had this card for quite some time, but I don't use it as much as I used to, because to be honest, this card has a extremely low credit limit, so I'm very nervous to use it for anything. So I will probably use it at a convenience store to like buy some Tic Tacs or something like that, honestly. So this card does play a purpose because it was one of my first credit cards I opened. So I leave it open because it's my longest credit line, and I want the credit history to look very good for my Capital One Quicksilver card. So I keep it open for those reasons. But outside of that, I truly don't use this card that much. So that's pretty much the whole spin on this card, but I do love it for what it is worth. So next up on the list is my favorite credit card of all time. I talk about this card all throughout the channel. I'm sure if you've seen any of my other videos, it was probably about this card, or this card has something to do with the video. But the Sofi credit card, I love this card so much because it's simple. Simplicity is key. 2% cash back on all purchases, 3% cash back the first year that you use this card if you have Sofi Plus, which all those perks for me, it keeps it straight to the point, and I never had any trouble with Sofi. Me personally, I see it like this is my go-to card, my catch-all card. I use this card everywhere I go. This is the first card I reach for typically whenever I'm making a purchase, if it's not a business purchase. If it's a personal purchase and I have to use a physical card, typically I'm reaching for the Sofi credit card. So that's why this one is in my digital wallet. But to be honest, the next card on the list is what I use the most in my digital wallet, and reasons being is because it's the Apple card. And for anybody that know anything about the Apple card, you get 2% cash back on all purchases used through Apple Pay, which Apple Pay is pretty much your digital wallet. So I use the Apple card a lot in my digital wallet. It's actually the most used card in my digital wallet. Is the default card as well. Me personally, I'm a huge fan of the Apple card, and I have no complaints on it. And I think anybody that's starting their credit journey before Apple and Goldman Sachs cut ties probably should see if you can get approved for the Apple card, because you can have a pretty low credit score to get approved for it. And that's not me saying that you will get approved. Of course, do your own due diligence before applying for any card, but I do enjoy the Apple card for the most part. Those are the cards in my digital wallet. And yeah, I didn't go into too much detail on each card. I just kind of wanted to tell you the rundown of what's in my digital wallet, and maybe in the comments you can tell me what's in your digital wallet. But with that being said, I'll see y'all on the next one.